What are the operators in Python? There are several operator categories. The first operator category is unary operator. There is a plus and unary plus and unary minus. What is the difference between unary plus and unary minus and addition and subtraction operators? For example, if I have something like n is equal to k multiplied by minus 5. Okay, here this minus is not subtraction operator. This is the unary minus operator. It makes 5 negative. Okay, or I can have, instead of 5, for example, t minus t. Instead of multiplying k with t, I want to multiply k with the negative t or minus t. So this minus is a unary minus. So the minus here is the unary. We have the unary plus and unary minus operators. If you don't put anything, this is unary plus, but it is useless. Okay, there is no need to put unary plus, but for the sake of completeness, they are saying that we can also use unary plus, but practically only unary minus is used. And then we have arithmetic operators. Plus, minus, asterisk, and slash are for multiplication, division, addition. Plus is for addition operator. A plus B, we add the value of A and the value of B to get a result. If we have minus, we subtract the value of B from value of A, we get a result. And similarly, in order to multiply two values, we use the asterisk sign. Asterisk sign is the multiplication operator, and slash sign is the division operator. A is divided by B. We have several more operators: floor division, modulus, and power operators. What are these? Now let me open the idle. I will explain from here. Now let's say, for example, we have, for example, 12 divided by 4. When we divide a value with just division operator slash, even if the values that are divided are integer, we always get a real number. Or for example, 14 divided by 4, we will get 3.5. But if I have double slash, the result will be integer. Okay, 12 slash 4 is the normal division operation, but 12 double slash 4 is floor division operator. The result is this: 14 double slash 4, for example, will give me 3. When I use floor division operator, the decimal part is omitted. Okay, if I use the floor division operator between two integers, the complete fractional part is omitted. Even if the fractional part is something like, for example, 99 slash 10 is 9.9, but 99 floor division 10 is just 9. The whole decimal part is omitted. Okay. What is modulus operator? Let's say 48 modulus 10. Modulus operator gives us the remainder value, not the division value, but the remainder value. When we divide 48 to 10, we have 4 times 10, which is 40, and the remainder is 8. Okay, so we get 8 from here. 48 floor division 10 is 4. This is the result, but the remainder is 8. So this percent sign is modulus operator or remainder operator. $87 modulus 2. What will be 87 modulus 2? It will be 1. 88 modulus 2 will be 0. So when we divide by 2, the remainder is either 0 or 1. If it is 0, it means that the value is an even number. If the modulus by 2 results as 1, then it means that the value is an odd number. Okay? So we will frequently use this modulus 2. If the modulus 2 is equal to 0, it means that it's an even number. If the number is even, if the number modulus 2 is equal to 1, then the number is an odd number. So, and we have also a power operator. 2 to the power 3. What is 2 to the power 3? 8, for example, or 2 to the power 10, 1024, for example. This is the power operator. So if I have, for example, x is equal to 10 and y is equal to 3, what is x to the power y? 10 to the power 3, 1000. We'll get 1000. 10 to the power 3 will be 1000. So double asterisk is the power operator. Okay. These are arithmetic operators. We have 7 arithmetic operators: addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, floor division, modulus, and power operators. We have 6 comparison operators or relational operators. They are these. If I have, for example, 2 values, let's go here. Let me write a comma b is equal to 7 comma 4. Here in one statement, I assign 2 values. The value 7 is assigned to A. The value 4 is assigned to B. The first one after the equal, and they are separated by comma. A comma B equal 7 comma 4. 7 is assigned to A, B is assigned to 4. I can write the same thing with A is equal to 7 and B is equal to 4 on 2 different lines. Instead of writing on 2 different lines, I have written all on one line. This is called tuple tuple assignment or multiple assignment. You can even call multiple assignment if you wish. So here the value of A is 7, B is 4. Let's forget for this. What I can do, I can compare A and B. I want to check if A is greater than B, for example. So in that case, in order to compare 2 values, we use the comparison or relational operators. There are 6 of them. There is checking for equality with double equal, not single equal. Single equal is assignment, okay? If I want to check if A is equal to 7, I do that. Okay? This checks if A is equal to 7. If the value of A is equal to 7, this will be true. If the value of A is not equal to 7, the result of this expression will be false. So when I use comparison or relational operators, the result is either true or false. There's only 2 possible values that comes from usage of the comparison operators. I can check for inequality. Is A not equal to 7? If it is not equal to 7, this will be true. Or I can check for greater than. If A is greater than 7, then this will be true. If A is not greater than 7, this expression will be false. Similarly, I can check if A is greater than or equal to 7. If the value of A is greater than or equal to 7, then this will be true. Otherwise, if it is less than 7, it will be false. Similarly, I can use less than. If the value of A is less than this value, then this expression will be true. Otherwise, it will be false. And then also I can use less than or equal to operator. Let's put 8. So if the value of A is less than or equal to value of 8 to value 8, then this will be true. We can use logical and Boolean operators, something like that. If A is less than or equal to 8 and B is greater than 3, for example. This will be true or false. Sorry, A less or equal to 8 will be true or false. B greater than 3 will give me either true or false, and true and false, and another Boolean value, true or false, are ANDed together. We use AND operator. Probably from high school, you know the logical truth table for Boolean operators. If I have, for example, assume that I have A and B. Assume that A is a logical value, B is a logical value or Boolean value. At this part, we can have something like this, and after AND, we can have something like that. Anyway, this is an abbreviation. So when we use the AND operator, in order to get a true result, both values, both before AND and after AND, must be true. If any one is false, if A is false, or B is false, or both are false, then the result is false. So in order to get a true value from A and B, both values must be true. When we have OR between two logical values, or two comparisons, for example, we get true if any one is true. If B is true, or A is true, or both is true, we get true. Okay. If both A and B are false, A or B will be false. And not will just reverse the value after it. For example, if I have something like not A greater than B multiplied by C, for example, let's put here another variable, C is equal to 2. Here, from A greater than B multiplied by C, we get either true or false. With not operator, we reverse this Boolean value. If this part is true, not true will be false. If this part is false, not false will give me true. Okay. So these are high school logical knowledge. We have bitwise operators. In this course, in CS101, we will not use bitwise operators at all. Okay, forget about this. But there are bitwise operators. As you know, all information in computers are stored as binary values in bytes or multiple bytes, and you can shift the bits to left, to right, etc., and do some bitwise and or operators and not operators, etc. We will not do anything with bitwise operators, but Python language has bitwise operators. That's why I put it there, but we will not use bitwise operators at all. Assignment operators, we have not only equal, but many assignment operators. For each of the arithmetic operators, we have a special assignment operator. What does this mean? I had probably explained it to you before, but let's do it again. A is equal to 7. Assume that I have A plus equal 7. Let's make this 4. What does this mean? This is equivalent to A is equal to A plus 7. And similarly, when I take this may be a repetition, maybe, but it is worth repeating these things. We can have here minus equal 7, then here it will be, if I have plus equals some expression, it will increase the value of A with that expression, which means A plus 7 is computed and it is assigned to A. Okay, this goes to A. Minus equals 7. 7 is subtracted from A and assigned to A, which means that A is diminished by 7. asterisk 7, then here let's put asterisk. A asterisk equals 7 means that the value of A is multiplied by 7 and restored into A. Multiply by 7 and put into A. If A was 4, but it will be 4 multiplied by 7, 28. So the new value of A will be 28. Similarly, we have this, or we have blah blah to the floor division operator or modulus operator and power operator. Let's put it here. 2. So for example, if I want to put into A its own square, this is what I write. It is identical to this one. Take A, take power 2, take its square, and put into A. If A is 4, 4 to the power 2 is 16. 4 times 4. The square of 4 is 16. And the new value of A will be 16 after this statement. Or let's put here, for example, 24. 24 modulus 7. When we divide 24 by 7, what is the remainder? It is 3. Or let's make this 30. 30 modulus 7 is 2. Because in 30, there are 4 times 7. 4 times 7 is 28. And the remainder is 2. So, for example, with A equals 30, 30 modulus 7 will be 2. And the new value of A will be 2. This will assign to A its own modulus by 7. Okay, 30 by modulus 7 equals to 2. So the new value of A will be 2 after this statement. So for each of the arithmetic operators, plus, minus, asterisk, slash, double slash, percent, and double asterisk, we have an assignment statement which contains this operator and then equal together with no space between them. And then it is equivalent to the right-hand side assignment expressions. Here there are some explanations about arithmetic operators. I just explained it now. Comparison operators. We have seen some examples. In Python, we can compare strings. Let me give a few explanations about this. Assume that I have Antalya and Antalya. These two strings are not equal because the first string starts with a capital A, the second string starts with a lowercase a. In all programming languages, the space character comes first, has lower code, lower binary code, computer code than, for example, the 0 character, which has then after 0 we have 1, 2, etc. These are these characters, blah blah blah, up to 9. Then there are some other characters. Then we have capital A, character capital A, character capital B, etc. up to character capital Z. And then there are some other characters, and then we have lowercase a, lowercase b, blah, blah, lowercase z. Okay. In computers, the characters are stored as binary codes, and these are called ASCII codes. Let me show you the ASCII table. CS101, probably I should have here ASCII table. This is ASCII table. The space has ASCII code 32. Then followed by some characters. And then the character 0, this character 0 has ASCII code 48. Character 1 has ASCII code 49, etc. They have some codes. You don't need to memorize this. All you have to know is that space is smaller than character 0, which is smaller than character A, capital A, which is smaller than lowercase a. Okay, as you see, character A is 65 plus 1, 64 plus 1, 65. The code, ASCII code of A is 65, B is 66, 67, etc. up to Z. Then there are some extra other characters, some parentheses, slash, blah, blah, blah. And then lowercase a has code 97, 97, 98, 99, blah, blah, up to Z. I'm writing computer programs for 46 years. I don't know the ASCII codes of those characters, okay? I don't need to memorize those. I don't know the codes of this, which comes first, which comes later on. I don't know this. All I know is that space is before 0, 0 to 9 are in sequence, okay? And then after 9, after some other characters, capital A comes, followed by uppercase letters, and then after some time, lowercase a comes, followed up to Z. Okay, so all you have to know is that space is smaller than character 0, smaller than character capital A, smaller than all capital characters are smaller than all lowercase characters. So when I go here, you can put between each character smaller. So when I compare this and this string, all the other characters are same, but capital A is less than lowercase a. Therefore, here I can put lowercase. Okay, Antalya with capital A is lower than Antalya with lowercase a. Or when I have, for example, 99 and, for example, 8888. Which one is smaller? Which one is greater? This starts with character 9. This starts with character 8. Therefore, this is greater than, this string is greater than the second string. Why? Because we look character by character. If you go to the dictionary, for example, but you can find that, for example, we can, let's say baby, and let's put here, for example, Antalya again. Antalya has more characters than baby, but in dictionary, Antalya comes first. So baby is greater than Antalya, or Antalya is less than this. So here we have, sorry, greater than, we can write it like that. When we compare two strings, the length has no role, okay? The length has nothing to do with the string comparison. What we do, we compare the first characters. If the first characters are equal, we continue with the second characters. Let's write here, for example, Antalya, okay? The first character are same. Then we compare second characters. Character lowercase a, characters uppercase a, which is greater, which is lower. Lowercase a is greater than uppercase a. Lowercase a, sorry. Lowercase a comes after uppercase a, so it is greater. Therefore, when we compare baby and Antalya, the first character are same. Therefore, we check the second characters. Here it is lowercase a. This is uppercase a. Uppercase a has smaller code. Therefore, Antalya string is smaller than the baby string. Okay. Similarly here, 9 is greater than 8. Therefore, this string is greater than this string. We don't look to the length. This is 4 characters. This is 2 characters. This is 4 characters, but we don't look to that. We compare character by character. Is this understood? How we compare strings? When we examine the strings in more detail, I'll show you how to compare case insensitively. This is case sensitively. When we compare case sensitively, uppercase letters are smaller than lowercase letters. But when we compare case insensitively, uppercase A and lowercase a are treated as same. Uppercase B and lowercase b are treated as same. Uppercase Z and lowercase z are treated as same. When we compare case insensitively, okay? When we compare case sensitively, they are different. When we compare strings case insensitively, lowercase characters are treated equivalent to their uppercase version. Lowercase k and uppercase k are treated as same. Lowercase p and uppercase b is treated as same, etc. when they are compared case insensitive. So we can use this logical operators not between numbers or expressions with result numbers, but also with strings as well. Here we have some logical expressions which contains not operator, etc., not and or. T greater than u is either true or false, and not makes that value the reverse. If t greater than u is true, not t greater than u will be false. If t greater than u is false, not t greater than u will be true. And here t greater than u is either true or false. V equal w is either true or false. And by using the and, as in the truth table here, we find the result Boolean expression, Boolean value, true or false is found after this. Similarly with or, etc. We can have something like that. Take t greater than u and t less or equal to v. With and, we find a true or false from here, true or false from that part. With and, we get true or false. And similarly, in this parenthesis here, we have one comparison expression which results as true or false, another comparison expression which results true or false, and true or false will give us either true or false. And then from the first parenthesis, we have a true or false. From the second parenthesis, we have true or false. With or, we get again either true or false. When we have such an expression, we have to know what are the precedence values for those in order to evaluate this expression. If there is a parenthesis, first parentheses are done. And then the second highest precedence level belongs to power operator. For example, let's go here. Let's erase all of this. If I have A multiplied by B power 2, for example, which one will be done? A multiplied by B will be done first, or B power 2 will be done first. As we see from the table here, power operator has precedence over multiplication. Multiplication is at the fourth level. Power operator is at the second level. Therefore, first B to the power 2 will be computed. A result will be found from here, and that result will be multiplied by A. Okay. Therefore, when we have this operator will be done second, but the power operator will be done first. This 1 and 2 is the order of operation. Multiplication is done first, power is done. Multiplication is done second. Power first and multiplication second. And then after power, we have unary plus, unary minus, and bitwise, blah, blah. Forget about bitwise operators. We can have something like that. A multiplied by B divided by minus C. Here, this minus is unary minus. It makes C negative. It takes the negative of C. So here in this expression, we have multiplication operator, division operator, and minus operator. But this minus is not subtraction, it is unary minus. Here we have a minus here and another minus here. This minus is subtraction. The other minus is unary minus. When you look to an expression, it is quite easy to find out that a plus or minus is a unary plus or unary minus or addition or subtraction, because here we have another operator. If this operator didn't exist, then this minus would be subtraction operator. But since here we have another operator, slash, which is division operator, from here we understand that this minus must be unary minus. So it takes the negative of C, and then we have all these three. When we look to the table, unary operators are before multiplication, division, floor division, and modulus operators. And then at the next level, addition and subtraction comes. So let's start with that more simple one. If I have, for example, plus operator here and multiplication here. When I look to this one, there are two operators, plus operator, which is addition, and asterisk, which is multiplication operator. When I look here, multiplication operator has precedence over plus operator. Therefore, multiplication will be done first and addition will be done after that. So B multiplied by 2 will be done first. The result will be added to A. Here we have unary minus. So what is the first one that will be done? Unary minus will be done first. Okay, first minus will be done, and then we have asterisk and slash. You look here, asterisk and slash has the same level of precedence. Okay, multiplication and division, floor division, and modulus have the same level. In that case, we go from left to right, from left to right. So this will be at the second stage, and the division will be done next. Okay, this will be the order. First minus, and then multiplication, and then division. Let's write some other examples. A plus B multiplied by C, floor division. Sorry, let's write it here. C, floor division, B, power E, modulus F. Assume that we have this expression. Of course, if you have this kind of complex expressions, it is advised to use parentheses to show the users which one has priority. But if you don't have any parentheses here, what is the order of execution of these? Do we have any unary plus, unary minus? No, we don't have any unary plus and unary minus. If you look to the table here, what is the highest priority among these ones? This asterisk. So here, the power operator will be done first. Okay, this power operator will be done first. Therefore, D to the power E will be computed first, and a value will be found. So a value will be, that value will be used with slash, slash, and percent operators. What are the other operators? Plus, which has lower priority. We have asterisk, double slash, and percent. If you look here, asterisk, double slash, and percent have all equal precedence. Therefore, they will be operated from left to right. So this will be at the second step. The multiplication will be done at the second step. Then this, slash, double slash will be done next. And then this will be done after. The modulus operator will be done first. First, power operator, D to the power E will be computed. A value will come here, and then B will be multiplied by C. That value, B multiplied by C, will be powered and will be floor divided by the result of d to the power e, and the result of everything modulus f will be done. Now we have a value from here. After 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 operations, we have a value, and plus has lower precedence at level 5. And this will be done here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we had, for example, minus n, this will be 6, because plus and minus have same, the addition and subtraction have same level of precedence. Therefore, they are performed from left to right, even if this was minus and this was plus, it doesn't matter. Multiplication, floor division, power operator, and modulus operator have precedence over subtraction and addition. Therefore, after doing these, we have a value here. We have a subtraction operator and addition operator. They have the same level of precedence. Therefore, we go from left to right. The leftmost plus or minus addition or subtraction is here, and the next one is here. So this will be done at the 5th step, and this addition will be done at the 6th step. Okay. In midterm, I can give you such an expression, and I can ask you write the order of operators below the expression. You will just write this in that case. If there is such a question, then this is given, and the question will be write the order of operators below the expression, for example. The question will be something like that. Okay. Write the order of operators below the expression. So this will be given to you, and you will write those numbers below each operator. After addition and subtraction, there are some bitwise operators. Forget about all bitwise operators. As you see here, we have comparison operators. So addition and subtraction are followed. Oh, sorry. We have also here. Yeah, we have equal, not equal, greater than or equal, less than or equal. And we also have identity operators. Is and is not are identity operators. In and not in are membership operators. We will see these operators later on. Okay, forget about these operators for the time being. We will see them in the future. The comparison operators have lower precedence than addition and subtraction. Therefore, if I have something like that, A greater than B plus C, for example, plus has precedence or priority over greater than. Therefore, in this expression, first plus will be done, and then greater than will be performed. Okay, this will be the order. If I have A multiplied by B greater than B plus C, so multiplication has higher precedence. This will be 1. Plus will be at the 2nd stage, and here we will have greater than done at the 3rd step. Repetition. Power operator has high precedence, followed by multiplication, division, floor division, modulus, followed by addition, subtraction, followed by comparison operators. And then after comparison operators, the logical not, logical and logical or follows, but they have different priorities. Logical not has priority over and, which has priority over or operator. The only thing that may be confusing is unary plus and unary minus. Unary plus and unary minus is between power operator and multiplication, division, floor division, and modulus operators. Okay, so you have to memorize somehow this table. As I said, forget about bitwise operators, forget those 4 rows, but you have to know that parenthesis says priority over everything, then power operator, then unary plus minus, then multiplication, division, floor division, and modulus, and then addition, subtraction, and then comparison operators, then not, and or at different levels of precedence. Is this clear? I hope this is clear. Any questions about these subjects, operators, and their precedences? Okay. After learning these, now we are ready to learn the selection statements. What is a selection statement? A selection statement is a statement in which some operation is done if a given condition is true. How do we write it? For example, assume, let's write A is equal to B7. And if the value of A is greater than, for example, 5, I want to do something. Otherwise, I do not want to do that thing. So what I do, I use an if statement or a selection statement. If this condition is true, I want to print, for example, A, comma, is greater than 5. I want to print this to my screen, for example. Let's open the Wing Personal. Otherwise, I don't want to write this. I'm only interested if A is greater than 5 in this case, and then I will do something if that case is true. So in this situation, I will use the if selection statement. What is the syntax? We write if keyword followed after a space. I write the condition or a logical expression. If the logical expression is true, if this condition is true, the statements which are indented here, there's an indentation. Okay. After if statement, we must indent. And if there are more than one statements inside, for example, if A is greater than 5, I want to assign 10 to B and also print this. These two statements will be done if this condition, this logical expression is true. If A is greater than 5 is true, these two statements will be done. In that case, I must equally indent those statements. And then here I can have, for example, C is equal to A multiplied by B, something like that, or A multiplied by 2. This is not indented, okay? This is not indented. Therefore, this is outside if. These two lines are indented. Therefore, they are part of the if statement. This is a block of statements. They are all equally indented. Therefore, they are equally indented. Therefore, these two statements belongs to this if statement. If this condition is true, both of these will be executed. If this is false, they will not be executed. It will jump this. If this is false, it will jump and it will continue with that statement. If this is true, it will execute these statements, but then again continue with this statement. Therefore, the block of statements here will only be executed if the given condition at the if line is true. If this is true, execute these two, then continue outside if. If this is false, directly continue outside if. Is it okay? Is it understood? The condition must be followed by colon. Okay, we must write a colon after the if. This has to be finished with a colon. It's a must. All statements in the block must be equally indented. If you have indentation, one statement is more indented or the other statement is more indented, then you will get an error. Okay, this is not correct. There's an error here because the statements, that line and that line are not equally indented. If you write such a program, then you will get an error from the Python compiler. The Python compiler will give you an error. There must be, these statements must be equally indented. If the condition is true, the block is executed, then execution continues after the block. Here, this statement is after the block. If the condition is false, it directly continues after the block. Here there are some examples. You can examine those examples. Here, for example, we have this condition, n greater or equal to 10, and n less or equal to 99. If n is an integer number, assume that n is not a float number, n is an integer number. What can you say about this condition? Who will answer me? What is the meaning of this one? Let me take this one here. Let's put it here. Oh, sorry. What is the meaning of this condition if n is an integer number? What can you tell about n?
N has 2 digits.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. That's correct. If n is greater or equal to 10, and if n is less or equal to 99, it means that the integer variable n has 2 digits. Okay, this is to check if it's 2 digits or not. Another one, and I just already told you that modulus 2 equal 0. What is the meaning of this? If n is an integer number, the meaning of this is that, let's put a comment here, if n is even number, even integer. Okay, if I put here 1, then it will mean that it is an odd integer. Okay, so in order to check if an integer variable is even or not, we use this one. If n modulus 2 equal to 0, then it means that it is an even integer. Or if I put here 1, or instead of putting 1, what I can do, not equal to 0. Okay, if it's not equal to 0, it is an odd number. So there are 2 ways of writing the other way around, either equal to 1 for odd number or not equal to 0, because modulus 2 with an integer number is either 0 or 1. There is no other value. Another question. Assume that I have A, B, and C variables. Okay, if I write A greater than B and B greater than C, what is the meaning of this? It is already written there anyway. A, B, and C are A greater than B and B greater than C. Let me check here. In one of the programs, I want to do something about that. A, B, C equal 2, 4, 7, for example. If I write if A greater than B greater than C together. Print. Okay, let's do that. I'm curious if it will run correctly or not. It didn't print OK. Oh, sorry, let's put here less than and less than. Less than, forget about everything before. Let's run the program. Okay, it printed OK. So if I want to compare A less than B and B less than C, I can write them like this. Or here, this can be written also as a successive. Let's put it here. We can do it like this as well. Okay, this and this are identical. Or let's put here less than and less than and less than and less than. These two are identical. Okay, so we can, in Python we can do that, but in most other languages you cannot do this. In Python this is possible. The meaning of A less than B less than C is equivalent to A less than B and B less than C. Okay, these two are identical. You can do this in Python, but not in most other languages. So this is about if. I will continue with the if-else statement. Any questions about the if statements so far? There are cases where when the condition is true, we want to do some computation. If it is false, we want to do some other computation. Okay. So in that case, we use else. If the condition is true, the statements in the if block are executed, and then it continues after everything. So let's write here something like that. Something A greater than 100, two things, and else followed by colon again. And we have here some other statements. I'm just putting here ... or some statements. And then here there is some other statements. If this condition is true, these statements will be executed, and it will continue with the statement after the whole if-else group. If the condition is false, it will directly execute the else part and continue after the whole if-else statement. This is the whole if-else statement, okay? This is the if block, and this part is the else block. If condition is true, execute the if block, continue afterwards. If the condition is false, execute the else block and continue after the whole if-else statement. This is equivalent to writing it like this. If not A greater than 100. Okay. This is identical to this one. Why? If this is true, that part will be executed. It will come here. Then this will not be true. It will continue with this one. If this is false, it will come here. If A greater than 100 is false, not false will make it true, and that part will be executed. Of course, writing like this is not nice. Okay, therefore we write else. Is it understood? An example here, A, comma B, blah, blah, blah. Let's take this. Let's put them here. Okay. Now we have some values. We have a Boolean expression. If this Boolean expression is true, this will be sorry. These two statements will be executed. If this condition is false, then the else part will be executed. In either case, either if true, this is executed, or false, this is executed. In either case, it will continue with that with the statement below this whole group. Any questions about if else? After if we need to put at least one space and the if line is finished with colon and else is finished with colon as well, and all the statements in the if block are equally indented, and all statements in the else block are also equally indented. And the indentation here and here has to be equal. If elif statement. Now assume that we have a variable age. Even if it's better, it will be probably better to write it here. Assume that I have a variable named age is equal to, for example, 41. What I will do, I will check if age is less than, for example, 17. If it is less than 17, we will just print child. Then I will write else. If it is not child, it is either a young person or an adult person. So I will check again. If, for example, age is less than 24, up to 23, assume that I up to 25, let's put it 25, up to age 24, from 17 to 24, I want to print young. If it is not less than 25, 25 or more, assume that up to age 60, it is adult. I want to print. Therefore, here I will have if age is less than 60, I will print adult. Although at the age of 18 we think it's as adult, but now I have a different definition for that. If it is not less than 60, I want to print old. Okay. Here, let's say print finished. I want to print this to see my program running. Now, 41. Is 41 less than 17? No. It will go to else. Is 41 less than 25? No. It will go to the else of this if. Is 41 less than 60? Yes. It will print adult. Let's run this. Adult, and at the end it printed finished. Let's put here 12. Is 12 less than 17? Yes. Execute the if group and jump over the else group. Okay, the whole else group. This is the whole else group. Since age less than 17 is true with 12, it will execute the if part and continue after the whole if else group. Let's run this. Child. Now let's put here 67. Is 67 less than 17? No. Go to else. Inside else, we have another comparison. Is 67 less than 25? No. Go to else. Is 67 less than 60? No. Go to else and print old. Let's run this. Of course, I have to put columns here. Sorry. It printed alt. Okay. But there is a nicer way of writing this whole stuff. Let's finish. Let's copy this part. I will write it in a much nicer way. Instead of else blah blah, else and if, I combine this as elif. And here again, elif. But in that case, I don't need to indent more. Now, this is identical to that. How does it work? First, the first condition is controlled. Age is 67. Let's copy this again here. Age is 67. Is 67 less than 17? No. Then it goes to elif. Next elif. It checks if the first condition is false. It checks the second condition in the elif. 67 less than 25? No. Go to the next one. 67 less than 60? No. Go to the else and print alt. Which one is nicer? Of course, this one is much nicer. Okay. It is more readable. Here it is more difficult to understand this program because it has an if inside the else part. This is called nested if. Okay, and if inside another if, and there's another if inside the second if. So this is nested the second time, and the indentation increases, etc. And it is more difficult to read and understand this program. But it is easier to understand. The two are identical. Let's run this program. As we see, it is both. This is the first part, the upper part, and the second one. The third and fourth lines are printed here. How does it work? First, the first condition is checked, and the statement is like this: if, elif, and some other conditions, and then it then else. The first condition is checked. If the first condition is true, the first block is executed, and then it continues after the everything. Okay, this whole if, elif, else is one block and one if statement, one nested if statement. This is a complete nested if statement, and this is afterwards. Therefore, if the first condition is true, the first block is executed, and it continues afterwards. If this first condition is false, it checks second one. If the second condition is true, the block belonging to that part is executed, and then it continues afterwards. If this is also false, it continues with the next one until a condition is true. If all conditions are false, it executes the else part. Okay, is this understood? The nested if. Let me write another example about this. Assume that the language, I have language code, lang code, language code is equal, for example, TR for Turkish. Okay. I will write here if lang code is equal to TR. Print günaydın. Elif, if lang code, I will just copy this. If the language code is eng, what to say? Good morning. And let's continue this. English. FR for French. Do you know what is good morning in French? Bonjour. assume that we have Spanish, SPA for Spanish. What is good morning in Spanish? Buenos días. IT for Italian. Do you know what is Italian good morning? Buongiorno. Let's write one more thing. ND for Netherlands. In Dutch language, it is goeiemorgen. It's pronounced as goeiemorgen. Okay, that's enough. Now, assume that the language code is, for example, Spanish. Okay, when we run this, it should write buenos dias. So we can have nested if statements. In nested if statements, just the equality operator for just specific distinct values. If long code is equal to this value, then do this statements. There may be not only one statement, but I can have multiple statements, okay? Here, of course, in this blocks, I can have many statements. Not only one statement, 2, 3, 4, 5 statements can exist in these blocks. I can do many things. And what can I write in else? Print wrong language code, for example. Okay, I can have something like that. But if I write something like this, I assume that the long code variable must be one of these values. Okay, either tr, eng, fr, spa, it, or nd. It has to be one of these. Otherwise, the program will write wrong language code. I for Deutschland. Guten Morgen. I forget Guten Morgen. If I do this, I'll get wrong language code. But of course, Germany is for D, Deutschland. Let's put here the German one as well. If the language code is D for Deutschland, Guten Morgen. Okay. So this is another example of nested if statements. Here in the second example, our conditions has equal to operator. We are checking for distinct various values of the variable. Here we are checking for ranges. Okay, if it is less than up to 17, it do this. From 17 to 25, do this. From 25 to 60, do this. Otherwise, do that, etc. Here we are checking ranges of numbers. But here we are just checking against specific values. What can I have? Assume that language code is not a string, but just, sorry. I will just fix this quickly. Assume that the language code is a number. 1 for Turkish, 2 for English, 3 for German, etc., etc. It can be something like this, okay? For Spanish, I have 5. For Italian, I have 6. For Dutch language, for Netherlands, I have 7. So here, of course, the equal is checking against numbers. Here we are checking against strings. The idea is same, but I just wanted to give this example because it can be, for example, if the plus is a special word, I will use CL. If CL1 is freshman in universities, the first year students are called freshmen. The second year students are called sophomore or something like that. I don't remember. The third year students are called something else. I don't remember this. But the fourth year students are called senior. Oh, sorry, junior. Yeah, freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior. I think it was something like that. If it is 5, it is doing MS degree. Assume that when the year, not language code, of course, class CL, let's put, sorry, guys. If the class is 5, assume that it is doing his master's degree. If it is 6, he is doing his PhD degree. And wrong class number. Okay. So here we have a variable, integer variable. If this is the class in university, if it is first year, if the class is first year, then freshman, we call it freshman. If it is second year, sophomore. If it is third year student, it is junior. It's fourth year student, it is senior, called senior. Assume that if the student is doing his master's, the class code is 5. If he is doing his PhD studies, then the class code is 6. So we can have this kind of nested statement to assign, to print some word for the student. Any questions? Here I have another example. Boom, boom, boom. Let's say, let's write this in a program. Let me take everything and comment out. Now, assume that we have 2 variables. One variable for gender, either F for female or M for male, okay? And then I will have an age variable, for example, for 16 or 25 or 45 for the age of a person. So for a person, I have 2 variables, one gender variable, F or M, and one variable for the age of that person. Now I will write here a nested if statement, which will address that person. If gender is equal to F, attention, don't write single equal, write double equal to check for equality. Single equal will be assignment. It will assign F to gender. It will not compare gender with F. So we have to have this. And here I have F age is less than, let's say, 20. Birth equal, let's say, girl. Else, and I will put into birth equal woman. Okay. Now I finished with the first part. I have another else, which is the else of this if statement. Okay. And here in this one, I will have similar things. But here I will have boy and man. So depending on the gender, I either go to the first part, the if block of this first condition. If this gender is not F, it should be M. On Earth, we have only 2 genders. Maybe in other planets there may be more genders, I don't know. But here we have only male and female. So if the first condition is true, we will go here. If the age is less than 20, we will put girl into the variable word. If it is not less than 20, it is equal or greater than 20, we put woman. And here we will say print hello, comma, let's put word. Run this. We'll say hello girl. And also let's put here exclamation mark. Of course, when I do this, it will put the exclamation mark after a space. So what I will do, I will put here hello space plus word plus. What these pluses are? I have a string here, another string here, another string here. If I have strings, what is plus operator? Plus operator is string concatenation operator. So I make one big string by using hello and space, and then word, and then exclamation mark. Let's run this. I have hello girl. Now let's change the age from 16 to 24, for example. Hello woman. Let's change the gender from F to M. Hello man. Let's drop the age to 7. Hello boy. Okay. So we can have this kind of nested if statements. There is an if statement inside another if statement, and also the else block has an if statement. Here, the checking is quite similar, but it could be different. Okay. Instead of if, for example, we call girl if it is less than 17, but we call boy if it is less than 20. It could be something like that. So we can have here any conditions as we wish. Okay. Even we can have different variables, not age, but some other variables. But we have an if statement inside other if statement. We can have here some other statements. Okay. There is no limit to that. After else, we can have here some other statements. So some other statements and if statements, and again some other statements. So we can have this kind of combinations. Okay. So this is another type of nested if statements. We can have nestedness not on 2 levels, but 3, 4, 5 levels. Here we can have another if statement there, etc., etc. If, and then another if, and then another if, etc. We can have many nested if statements. There is no limit in Python, as long as you know what you do. Okay, you write it correctly. As long as you write it correctly and you know what you do, you can have many nested if statements. This is just one case. Who can think about a case in real life which has more than 2 levels? Can you think any case, a real life case, where we can write a nested ifs with 3 levels? Anyway, I hope you understood this. Any questions about nested ifs? Here in my lecture notes, there are some exercises. It will be quite good if you study these lecture notes and do some of the exercises here. For example, I will advise you to write a nested if statement for the 3rd question. Input a grade entered by user and write an if statement that will assign A to letter if grade is greater or equal to 90, and assign B to letter if the grade is between 75 and 90, etc., etc. Just read this and try to write a program for that. I will solve the next question. Let's copy this. Copy. Let's go to here. I will erase everything here. After hash sign, let's write this. Let's read the question. Write an if statement that will check an integer variable num and display the number itself has more than 6 digits, or number has 4 to 6 digits, or number has less than 4 digits. So it will check if the number, this integer number, has more than 6 digits, 4 to 6 digits, or less than 6 digits in a if statement. Now let's start with num is equal to with the first one. Let's read a number, okay? Write any as before the if statement, of course, we have to get the number. How do I input an integer number? Who can tell me what I will write here? Num is equal to, just tell me what to write. Is this correct? Enter a number. If I do this, input will give me a string, not an integer number. Therefore, in order to get an integer number, I have to put int before and close the parenthesis of int. Now let's print the number, print num. Let's first do this. Let's go step by step. Enter number. So I entered this number and the number is printed back. Okay. How do I check if a number has 6 digits, has more than 6 digits? Who can tell me? What I will write to check if the number has more than 6 digits. This is the biggest 6-digit number, integer number, okay? The biggest 6-digit integer number. If the number is greater than 999,999, then it has more than 6 digits, okay? So this is my first condition. More than 6 digits, I can write it like this. If the number is greater than 6 nines, which is 1 million or more, or I can write either like this, or I can also write it like greater or equal 1. This is the smallest. Okay, let me put here hash sign. Okay, I can either write like that or like that. If it is greater or equal to 1 million, it is more than 6 digits, 7 digits or more. Okay, is this understood? Then print num, comma, and a string. What is the string? Has more than 6 digits. Elif. Now, if the first condition is false, if num is greater than 1 million, greater or equal to 1 million is false, it will come to else, elif. Now, my second condition, my second case is 4 to 6 digits. So since it came to elif and checks the second condition, this condition should be false. So it should be less than 1 million. So it has 6 digits or less. But I have to check now. It has to have at least 4 digits. So what is the smallest 4-digit number? 1000. 1000 has 4 digits. If it is greater or equal to 1000, it has to have at least 4 digits. Okay. So I have print num, comma, let's who has 4 to 6 digits. Let's copy this here. Do I need to write anything else? Assume that I assume that number is a positive number. If it's a negative number, minus 22 billion, it will have more than 6 digits. So here I have one assumption. My assumption is that the entered number is a positive number. Okay. If it's a negative number, I don't have any control here because minus 22 billion will be in the case where number is minus 22 billion, it is not greater than 1 million. It's not greater than 1,000. It is less than 1,000 because it's a negative number. It will come to else. Therefore, in order to have here this program to run correctly, num has to be positive. Let's run this program now and see what will happen. Enter a number. Let's enter, for example, 87, a small number. 87 has less than 8 digits. Let's put a hash sign here. Now let's run it again. Let's enter F42, blah, blah, blah. 5 digits. 42,185 has 4 to 6 digits. Let's enter really a 4-digit number. 1,000 has 4 to 6 digits. Let's enter 999, less than 4 digits. That works correctly. Let's run and write here 99999 and one more 9. This is 6 digits, has 4 to 6 digits. And let's put here 1 million, which is 7 digits, which is a 7-digit number, has more than 6 digits. So my program runs correctly. Okay, I checked all the limit cases. The biggest 4-digit number, the biggest number which has less than 4 digits is 999. Then I tried 1,000, which is the beginning of the 4-digit numbers. What is the biggest 6-digit number? 999,999. And what is the smallest number which has more than 6 digits? It is 1 million. We checked everything. So all those limit numbers, it works correctly. I hope this makes that at least this type of range checking using if-elif statements is understood more now. Any questions? Do we have any questions? Is this understood? I will finish my lecture now. If you have any questions, I will be glad to answer you.